Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Are Things Getting You Down? Like many times over the last couple of years, I've received tons of messages by email and text this past week regarding Supreme Court decisions on gun laws and women's reproductive rights. And the first thing I hear from people is despair. And I believe everybody has a right to their feelings. Everybody has a right to feel angry or sad or whatever they feel by everything that's happening in the United States and around the world. But what I also find so amazing is that everybody seems to think that they know the future. The minute people can't see a clear path forward, they often believe that there is no path. And it is extremely hard to live this way. It's stressful, it causes sleepless nights, and it could truly break our hearts. And I'm not saying that bad things don't happen. I'm not saying that times don't get tough. But what we often do is that we write a story of how things are going to be from now until the end of time. And we forget the maybe, we forget the hope, we forget the miracle. We forget about all the people who think like we do, all the people that care, all the kindness in the world. For some reason, the thing we didn't like or the thing that didn't go our way is the beginning of more bad things happening. And the beauty of life is just as an unexpected thing happens or something we don't like happens, uncertainty can bring good things too. We might not be able to see the path at this moment, but nobody knows the future. No matter what anyone tells you, nobody knows for sure what will happen next. And when you could really embrace that in your heart and know that so deeply, nobody could steal your hope. And sometimes hope is all we have, especially when it's not clear what's going to happen next. But hope is the beginning. It's the beginning of every idea, every relationship, every marriage, every new creation, every new thought, every new law. Everything that happens in the world begins with hope. And people could come around and they could cite you all the statistics they want and all the reasons for why things can't get better, but nobody could know. Don't let anyone steal your hope. It's easy to feel despair. It's the easiest thing in the world to look out into the future and take this moment and just project it out and say things are bad. It's the easy way out. But with resilience and strength, you can look out into the unknown and say, because I don't know what's going to happen next, because nobody knows, I know there are possibilities I can't imagine, and some of those possibilities are things that I would like. There are things that I believe will be good for this country, that will be good for the world. And when we think this way, we wake up every day, even if we're feeling sad, even if we're feeling down, even if we're feeling angry, we still hold that hope in our heart. And that hope is the beginning of everything that's new. For some reason, uncertainty frightens us. But everything you have loved in your life has once been uncertain. And for me, every day I wake up and I'm so happy I don't know. Because that means I could still achieve every single dream on my list. And that means all the things I dream of for the world could happen. And I don't let anybody take that from me. So if you don't know something's absolutely true, that means something else could happen. And I know so many of my podcasts talk about maybe, but that is the practice for me that helps me stay hopeful. It is hope without attachment. And whatever is bothering you today, you have to ask yourself, is my fear absolute? And even if something happens, even if a law is passed or something's overturned or things are not exactly as you want them to be, and it could be true in this moment, but doesn't mean it's going to be true in the future. So you can't be absolutely certain. And so you can't be absolutely certain things can't get better, and you can't be absolutely certain that things can't change. You just can't. And despair is just another form of certainty. And if you can't get there on your own, you always have the maybe practice. You ask yourself your biggest fear. You could never know what's going to happen in the future, so none of your fears of the future are absolute. So you can't know for sure. So what else is there when you start to do maybe statements? Maybe things can get better. Maybe I can accept this and still be okay. Maybe there are things that I can do to create a better future. Maybe I need to join a group. Maybe I need to donate someplace. Maybe there are other people out there thinking just like me. Maybe things can change and I could play a role in that. Maybe more is possible than I can imagine in the moment. Whatever maybe statement brings you back to hope. Sometimes I need to write them all day long. Sometimes I just keep one in my head. Maybe everything could still be okay. But I know that without that hope, I'm not getting out of bed in the morning. Don't let what you don't like take your breath away. Don't let what you don't like make you give up. Don't let what you don't like make you scared of the future, make you worried for the future. Instead, let what you don't like in this moment be the reason to get up in the morning. Make it the reason to try harder every day. Make it the reason to meet your neighbors and collaborate and commit more to love and kindness and what's right and what you believe in. Let it inspire you. Let it give your life meaning, because that's what life is all about. Connecting and loving and meaning and believing in all that's possible every day. You don't know the future. You can't know it. Let that give you hope. Let that give you inspiration. Nobody could take your maybe away from you. Life is always changing. New things are always happening. And there are really good people out in the world that want the world to be a better place. You are not alone. And whatever your issue is and whatever your passions are, there's a place for you in this world. And there's a place for what you believe. Just give this moment more space. Honor how you feel, but don't let it get you down. Don't let the world get you down. Let everything that happens to you, allow yourself to go deeper. Allow yourself to learn the lessons. Allow it to be the fuel that deepens your commitment to things. And recognize that uncertainty is your best friend, because if you want your life to change, if you want the world to change, if you want things to get better, it has to happen in the unknown. Life is always changing. We are always changing. And hold what you believe and what you want close to your heart, because for all you know, with your actions and your commitment and the love that you give to the world, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to read my books, The Gift of Maybe or Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you could subscribe and leave a comment.